Hi, everybody. It's Alex Jarett with my good friend Stan Hammond. Hi, Stan. How are you?
Good, Alex. How you doing today?
Great, Stan. It's great to see you. And Stan, boy, I tell you, we've known each other for many years. You were around in the original group. You're now on our board of advisors. And I got to tell you, I really am inspired by you. For everybody who doesn't know Stan, Stan is currently a senior principal platform architect and your advisor at a big company called ServiceNow. But what's really interesting about your background, you were at Pfizer, you were the worldwide CIO, and you've done that role and CISO at a number of companies, including GKN Aerospace and a lot of huge roles, a lot of big companies. And what really inspired me when we reconnect, I heard your story is that I think your two older daughters, they have their families in the East Coast, and you decided to take an individual contributor role to be near your family, and you're just digging it. You're just loving it.
Well, yeah, the big thing I'm digging is it was always a 24/7 job. You never got away. Vacation, nothing. You never got away. And rightfully so. You're all in. And that's the job. That's the role. So when my daughters asked me to come out to the East Coast, I basically had a security clearance. So I thought, well, I'll take security clearance. I've got good cyber credentials.
Right, right.
I had three job offers in 30 days. It was great.
Oh,
And they
it's
were all
wonderful.
individual contributor roles for these government programs. So what
That's
surprised me
interesting.
was that the government program runs on a bill rate and basically runs, give or
Yeah,
take 48
yeah,
hours a week.
yeah,
So 40 hours a week for me, that was like a vacation.
yeah.
So a lot of hard work for 40 hours, but then you turned it off.
Well, what's great, as part of your role now, you do advising to these
Right.
major companies, these major clients, as part of the ServiceNow role, and they're getting a very seasoned executive to give them advice, right?
Yeah, it works out well for the customer, works out well for ServiceNow. It's really a win-win for everybody because, I can take those roles that I've had in the past, put it
Yeah,
into the ServiceNow ecosystem and say, based on what the customer is saying, and it's not what
right.
they're saying, what's important to them, I
Yeah.
can dissect that and say, here's the big money. And then
So,
I advise them to go for the big money and get
well,
that value.
so real quickly, tell us net on ServiceNow, the role that you play, and then I know you got a couple of stories that you want to share. So go ahead.
Yeah, so net is ServiceNow sells the software, companies start adopting the software. My role specifically is a customer has bought a bunch of software.
Yeah.
Now they seek how can I ramp it up, get it implemented as soon as possible. So I help them do that. But the difference is that I help them do that and get the big money of why they bought it.
And that's where the advising that you do
Right,
comes in with your experience, is that you're always looking to solve big problems.
right.
And the other area of advising that we've just talked about is that you like to help in terms of innovative areas like AI, software, and cybersecurity. So do I got that right? You just said a big problem. Let's talk about big problems because that's a big thing that you help people with.
Yeah, so I have three sweet spots.
Yeah,
One is I just finished a program at Cornell for AI.
yeah,
ServiceNow has a lot of AI stuff in ServiceNow. So it's how do you take AI and the value package of ServiceNow? That's one. Two is around software licensing and the cost of software. Any of these larger enterprises are spending a load of money in software licensing. And when I was running the software and taking care of the contracts with Oracle and Microsoft,
yeah.
I would have given my firstborn to have what's now ServiceNow's software tool. So I help them implement the software tool for ServiceNow.
I hope your firstborn's not listening to this.
No, no, she's fine. She's fine with it. And what's ironic on that piece is, I had a customer that
Yeah.
walked up and went to and reported to Congress a $19 million savings in software. That's
Wow.
that's a lot of cash. So, rolled it all the way up. It was even a bigger number, but 19 million was the one that they would, advertise and tell and
Yeah.
talk about. So really the key, Alex, is to go for the big wins. You
Yeah.
want to, in essence, to get the flywheel of the innovation, the flywheel of your teams going with this value. Because really the business people give IT money. So you've got to come back as an IT group and show a lot of money to the business people, gain that agreement. And then once you gain that agreement, the business people will let you do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So it's in that. So I concentrate on three main areas. One is if the business has the big problem, we want to hear that first.
Yeah.
Other than that, if I go in dry, it's the innovation, AI is one, software licensing is a second, and then the
Yeah.
third is the coordination between the cyber group and the IT group, really to fix a lot of the issues that are presented as cyber vectors. So
See,
that sums it up, and they're really big, usually multi-million-dollar implementations that I hope make a difference. That's what I'm there for.
well, it's great that you're able to come in, use this software system that you said that help them get these big wins, pays for everything, and then you can go and work on these other three areas. Obviously, AI is in the news everywhere. It's hard for me to distinguish sometimes between the hype and the reality. What are you seeing in terms of the real savings and how you all are helping people using AI?
Right. Yeah. So you're right on the real hype. I mean, there is a lot of hype in the industry. Most
Yeah,
of it relates to two things. One is that an organization really has to make sure that they have the data within their organization or the data that they're going to source that
that's
makes a
true. Yeah,
difference to apply AI. So they have to ferret through, and usually it's governance or a special board that they present for that. They have to find that, and then they have to agree on a small proof of concept to prove it. And then from there, they can grow. But the biggest thing with AI is to try something. And of course, you want to address a big problem, ideally, to try it. So that's the main thing with AI. The other area with AI is to keep the human centric decision process identified so that everybody knows what that is. Because AI, I was even in a meeting a few days ago, and they're like, well, I see the answer AI gives, but I don't have a clue how it gives it. Well,
yeah,
to keep a human in that process to do at least checkpoints. So a human-centric design is essential, and especially with people that are afraid to lose their job, they're afraid of what's going to happen with all this AI stuff.
yeah.
You bring people into that process. That's the main thing to make a difference and make innovation. There's lots of normal stuff, which is using Copilot and other things that are,
Yeah.
productivity tools, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is a big problem in your business and a big solution that relates to a lot of value and money.
So it almost sounds like you're saying AI can come on to augment the team that's there as a team member.
Yeah. So the best way I've heard it put is
Yeah,
think of AI as hiring another person.
yeah,
So you basically say, I'm going to set up an AI system that's like a person. Why
yeah,
do I hire a person? You don't hire a person because a person, helps you make $100 and helps you save $100. You hire a person to make thousands of dollars,
right.
and you hire them for hundreds. So the same with AI. What big thing do you have that you can do with AI that's like hiring another person? So in essence, you invent this army of robots, right? I mean, that's the key term, bots or robots.
Yeah,
And you say, how
agents.
many
Yeah,
of those
yeah,
can I put in my organization that legitimately help? And a small proof of concept to
yep.
just work through that. And remember, the key is to stay right where your sweet spot is your business. Yeah, don't worry about, I'm going to write a better email. I'm going to do more emails in less amount of time. Your workers are going to do that no matter what.
Yeah.
That's their incentive.
They're
But
going to
that's
just start doing it. Yeah, they're
yeah,
already doing it. They're already trying.
right.
Yeah,
So you want to focus on the bigger proof of concept. Where do you have data? What's different about your business that you want to go for to try? Because what the worst case scenario is to sit on the sidelines and wait,
yeah.
because it takes a while to work through the little idiosyncrasies of AI, and you can't sit on the sidelines. It's really a hands-on sport.
That's wonderful. You just packed a lot of wisdom in that. So go after the big returns, leveraging AI as a team member, right?
Right.
And you need to have the data and you need to have the governance and the traceability. That's what I'm hearing.
Right.
And that means alleviate your team's fears about replacement and all that. It's not what this is about. What it's about is getting big gains for the company and big gains for the customers, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, I heard it from you. So, Stan,
Thanks.
this goes so quickly. So, thank you for being on our board of advisors. Thanks for being part of the group.
Sure. All right. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.